Hey everybody, this is Alex Linnebrink over at EscapeTix, and I just want to run through an update to the EscapeTix demo so you can see exactly how the EscapeTix platform works, how it's going to help you sell more bookings and more tickets to your escape room, and generally going to simplify your lives and make your customers happier. So with that, let's dive right into things. So this is EscapeTix. If you go to escapetix.com and if you look at Discover an Escape Room, I'm actually going to click over to that in a tab. And this is going to show you a little bit how the platform looks. And, one of the most interesting things about EscapeTix is that we do advertise this. So even if you're not linking directly to, our portal here to search for things, we're advertising your escape room. You can see we've got over 100 of these already that are listed up on our site here that people can find near them. They can search by name, they can search by a venue title, your actual setup there. So there are a lot of ways for customers to find stuff, and we spend a lot of money advertising this. So that's all to say, we are hopefully going to find you more customers just by the fact that you're using EscapeTix, because people come to us looking for escape rooms. Now with that, I don't want to mess up any of these real-life escape rooms that are on our platform here, so instead of that, I'm going to go over to our demo site. And this is a site that's not available to the public, but it is one that we have set up just so we can run through some demos and show you how things work. So you can see here we've got a couple fake events. Again, these are all fake that you're going to see listed here. And I am going to click into one of these called the Laboratory for our demo purposes. Now, the Laboratory is a pretty straightforward event. This is a normal escape room event, but we've got some cool twists and turns to the setup. But this is a normal, 8-person escape room, nothing too fancy on that side. So what I want to show you first is our single room setup. So this is what we call an event, or you're used to calling a room. And this one is called, as I mentioned, the Laboratory here. So if you look around, most of what you see here is going to be very customizable. Everything from the graphics at the top to the event poster on the right over here, and you can change that around. You can add more than one of those if you want it to become a slideshow. The background is all customizable. The colors, the description down here, you can add, rich text, links, headings, colors. You can add in images down there. You can add in videos. That's a great touch if you want to throw a video down in your description. Of course, you're going to have your venue info so people can see exactly where you're at and have some contact info here. And also at the very bottom, they're going to see your policies. So these are any special policies you have set up. We have some defaults that we're going to throw in there for you, but if you have anything special that you want to add, go ahead. You're welcome to edit this and throw those in there. Now, there are really two ways to get people to this page so that they can book for their escape room, and then I'll show you in a second just how that booking works. But one of those ways is to simply link over to this page on our site, and you'll get a URL. I don't think you can see it at the top of the screen, but that would show up at the very top of the screen here. You'll get a URL that you can send people the link directly to. And that'll look something like this, and you can post that link on social media. It's very friendly, so it'll show as a great preview on Facebook and Twitter and whatever social media you post it on. You can put it on your website, so that's bringing people over here. That's one way to get people here, and it'll look basically like this, but with your customizations. The other way to get people over here, though, is to embed this all right into your website. And when you do that, it actually gets rid of our navigation and branding at the top, and it will shrink down to accurately fit whatever size embedded window you put it in. So it'll rearrange things so that it fits properly, and it'll even let you change all the colors on here to make that embedded process to make it look like it's going to accurately, match your website. So people think they're on your website the whole time. They are. It's just a window within your website, but the colors are all will all match your existing website, etc. So that's the other way, and I'll tell you, a lot of people do both. We don't really care which one you use. They both go through about the same process. Now, before I actually get into booking, I do want to show you one other view we have, and this is called what we call the venue view. And this is your whole escape room venue, as your whole location. And so this would be what you'd use to show all of your different events. So you can see that here we have 3 rooms set up. 3 rooms or events, whatever you want to call them. We've got the Alchemist Lair, we've got the Laboratory, and we've got the Dragon's Den. So people can go down here to get more info, or they can even get tickets directly to one of those, and it'll show the little, calendar here. Again, we'll go through that in a second. They can see any products you have for sale. That's going to be under the products tab. These are also available as an upsell, but this is one place that we keep them so that you can sell merchandise. You can sell concessions, whatever you like. Again, you've got your venue info here. You have any packages up above that are available. This is nice if you want to have a book the whole room package, or maybe give somebody a discount for booking to 3 different rooms at the same time. We have all of these possibilities available here. Or they could just click on the calendar over here for a date that they want. So you could click on Saturday and see, hey, it looks like we have 3 different rooms that are available on Saturday that aren't booked out. And if a time isn't available anymore, it's going to show is already booked and none available. So it won't actually show up here if it's not available at all. Otherwise, you'll see how many tickets are left right here as long as you have that option selected. So this is another way, and again, you can embed this, you can add more graphics to this page, and you can change the colors, and you could even embed this right into your website. And again, when you embed, it'll get rid of our graphics and our navigation at the top. All right, so moving forward, let's go ahead and check out purchasing of tickets. So one thing I mentioned is that we have the ability to have packages. Now, this could be something as simple as like saying maybe we'll let somebody buy out the whole room for a discounted price. So in this case, we have the ability to say, hey, we've got buy the whole room package, and you can get the entire 8 tickets. You can get the room to yourself without spending 8 tickets in dollars. So basically, in this case, we'll give you 2 for free, $150 instead of the normal $200 cost. So that's one way to use a package. The other way is to do something like what we have listed on the Escape Lab Challenge bundle here, where people are actually getting access to 3 different rooms. So they're getting the laboratory, they're getting the Alchemist Lair, and they're getting one of 4 different roles that we have established at the Dragon's Den. So let's say I pick a night. Now you can select a different time for each one, because that's going to be important. You're not going to want to do them at the same time if you're doing 3 different rooms. So that's a good way to upsell people to get them to buy all of your rooms at once by giving them a discount there. Whatever you do, though, however you want to use those ticket packages, just know they're there and available. If you don't use those, the main booking agent down here is the calendar. So a user can simply pick a date on the calendar, select a time. So I selected 4:30 here. And we have the ability to have as many different prices. We call these ticket types. There's many different ticket types or prices that you like. So you could have a general admission, that's your normal cost. I could add 2 of those to my cart. You could have a student discount and say that they have to, bring a student ID to arrive. You could have a VIP package that maybe comes with a t-shirt or something like that. And you can even have different amounts available of each of these ticket types. So in this case, for this whole time slot, we have 8 spots available, but they could be purchased in any, selection of these. And since no tickets have been purchased, you could purchase up to 8 general admissions or up to 8 students. Or the VIP we actually have limited so that there are only 4 available per time slot. So you can only do up to 4 of those. So there's a lot of options available here. So I'll go ahead again, add those 2 general admission tickets there. And then we have the custom questions down below. So if you have anything special you want to ask somebody, this is where. A phone number is pretty common, especially with escape rooms. So that's one we're asking here. But you could ask a customer anything from maybe have they ever been to, in this case, Escape Lab before, or have they ever been to an escape experience before at all? Or maybe you've got something special. You want to ask them if they're part of a group, or you want to ask them their favorite color because you're going to work that into the escape experience. Whatever you want, you can ask them, and you will have reporting on that later. So I'll go ahead and answer that question. Let them know that I am not a robot here. That's an important one there. And I'm going to add this to my cart. Now, we also have the ability to do upsells. So when somebody adds something special to their cart, you can have it pop up and make them an offer of different products that are available. So in this case, we have an extra clue down here that's available and a t-shirt up here. And within those products, we do have variants. So you can create a small, medium, large, or a red, green, blue, or a combination of those. And you can have different inventories for all of those. So if the large t-shirts run out, they will no longer be available, but the small and medium still will. So those are just an idea of some options that are here. You do have the ability to let them select to ship that to them. I don't have that set up on this event. I recommend leaving these items as pickup at the event only. Most people don't want to deal with shipping, but if you do, you can even do an upcharge, charge them $5 or something like that to have an item shipped to them. And then we'll also collect their shipping info. So I'll add that one to the cart as well, and I'm just going to hit checkout. It's also available at the bottom of the screen if people scroll down. So we're to the final part of the checkout. We do have the ability to edit these quantities again. So if I wanted to, get rid of a ticket, I could just hit subtract. We have our policies down here. Now, one thing I don't have set up on this is our event terms, and that is the actual ability to set things up so that you can make somebody check to agree to specific terms that you have set up. So they have to check to acknowledge that they've read this and agree to those terms. You can do that on here, but you absolutely don't have to do that. And we even have a really nice waiver integration coming in the next couple weeks here, so stay tuned for that one as well. But, as far as the checkout goes, we have a couple other items that I'll point out over on the right-hand side. We do have a full promo code engine. So you can create any number of promo codes you like, and those can be for $1 off or a dollar amount off or a percentage off. And they can be limited in usage to a specific number of uses or a specific time frame or only on specific ticket types, or they can be unlimited and just available forever and for anything. So keep that in mind. We have the ability to create an unlimited number of promo codes. And if you ever need to create a bunch of these at once, maybe you're doing like a local, deals deal or like a Living Social or a Groupon or something like that, you can upload a CSV file of, thousands of codes if you want to create those all at once. And that's super easy. You just set the parameters once that, hey, I want every one of these codes to be good for one free ticket. And then you can upload that CSV file of 1,000 codes, and all those codes will be automatically created. So that's great for running those daily deals and things like that. The other thing we have, which you don't find too often, is our social media discount. So we actually have the ability to offer a discount in exchange for sharing on social media right now. So you can give somebody $1 to share on Twitter right now. And I don't know about you, but I will click anything if I get $1 off right now. So in this case, it'll pull up my Twitter here, and we actually do check to make sure that these are posted. So I'm going to go ahead and you see it's pre-populated this. Now, by default, this does link back to the event page, but you can set that to link to your website or whatever. And that's actually what we're checking. We're searching Twitter to make sure that they post whatever link you want them to. So I'll go ahead and click tweet here. And as soon as that goes out, we've got our $1 discount has been applied. I really recommend using that. We see a lot of sales come through that. That's gone out, in my case, to 4,000 Twitter followers. And hopefully those are people in the same area, interested in the same things, might even want to go to an escape room with me. So with that, I'll go ahead and complete my checkout. Now, I am logged in right now, so because of that, it's not asking me for my name and email address. Otherwise, it would ask for those things. You don't have to set up an account, but you can set up an account if you want. You can add in a password if you like, and all that really lets you do is get back to your tickets and save a credit card in your profile. I like the save credit card just because it lets me check out earlier for demos. I don't have to type my credit card in on the screen here, so I'll go ahead and use that. Now, when I click purchase, we're going to get one more pop-up that says, hey, are you sure that you want to continue here? And I say, yep, that's the correct amount. I'm good to go. Now, we do actually send people real tickets. Not physical tickets, but real tickets, a digital ticket here. That arrives by email, and we show it right on the screen. So we have things like, hey, add this to your calendar, option, and maybe email a ticket to a friend if you're coming separately from that friend to let them get in. But we do send along those tickets, and I'm going to pull this up so I can show you why. You don't have to use them, by the way, but here's why. We send these out. And again, they get these by email along with the receipt as well. And you can have an email message of your own choosing go out in that email receipt as well. So here's why we send these. We send these because people are used to referencing tickets for information on events. And if you run an escape room, you know it can be a pain in the butt to get people through the door at the right time or the right location or, get them the information that they need ahead of time. So we include that all for you. So these tickets are going to include your image for your event. It's going to include the vitals of what was purchased. So it's going to include their name. It'll include what tickets they purchased and what products, if those are included. It'll include any notes and instructions you have for them. So you can tell them, hey, we're downstairs, go down, head in the door and then straight down the stairs. Or park in the back. Parking's free or something like that. It can include a scannable barcode, which we'll get to in a second. It can include your venue info, which is really important. That gives people a map so they can see where they're going, and they have your contact info. So not only can they find you, but they can get a hold of you if they have any questions. You can also something I missed, forgot to say in the notes, you could say, hey, make sure you get here 15 minutes in advance or else you'll be forfeiting your tickets or something like that. And then, of course, the time is up there as well. So people have that to reference. That's important if you have a policy like that. And then at the bottom, the other cool thing about this is you have a brought to you by section. Now, you're welcome to use our graphics and leave those there. That's fine, but you definitely don't have to do that. So what most people do is they'll put sponsor logos in here. So you could go to the subway down the street and say, hey, we'll put you on 1,000 tickets this year if you give us an extra $1,000 sponsorship or something like that. And hopefully that can actually help you do some advertising for somebody and get some money back in exchange for doing that. But you could also advertise your other rooms, your other locations, that sort of thing. All right, so with that, now that you know what these tickets are like, I will go ahead and power up our mobile app, which is a really important part of things. You don't have to use it. You can absolutely use our system and navigate through our system without using the mobile app at all. But I think it's a great addition to things. So let me go ahead and get that up on the screen. Oh. All right, you should see my iPad on this screen now, and I'm going to pull up the Passage Manager app. So this is our special app for managing events on our platform. So cool things in here. You have the ability to select your events. So we're going to select the laboratory room, which we've been talking about. And we can even sort down and say, hey, I want to see what times are available. When did we purchase these tickets for? How many people purchased on May 19th at 4:30? I'll go ahead and into May 19th at 4:30. We can tap that, and we're going to get a guest list. Now, because this is a test event, it only has my name on there. But I can tap my name and see that we have 2 tickets available for May 19th at 4:30. And I can even tap those to check that person in. So that's one way to check people in digitally. Just find their name on here, select the time, and then check them in like that. Now, another way that we have is to use the scannable barcodes. So I can go over here. I'm going to try to shrink this just a little bit on my screen so you can see the barcode. But I'm going to put this over our ticket, over the barcode, and I'm going to tap to scan. And this is going to give us a list of the tickets that are available that this person has purchased. And so you can see that we have those 2 tickets for May 19th and a large t-shirt. So I can check those in, and I can hand this person the t-shirt and mark that as redeemed. And I'm just tapping that toggle button right there to mark that as used. And now this person is all checked in, so we don't have to worry about that. Now, you don't have to use the app for that, but it is available there for very, very quick check-ins. If you ever have bigger groups, this is the way to make that a very fast process. Now, the other thing that we have available on our mobile app is the ability to sell tickets, merchandise, concessions, whatever you like at the door. So I'm going to go and click the Sell tab at the bottom. That's the middle tab. And now we have a list of different times that are upcoming so that we can go ahead and select one of those. So if I wanted to add a couple tickets to May 19th at 4:30, I could go ahead and select that time there. In the middle, we're going to see our tickets available. So I'm going to hit 2 general admission tickets. And those show up in our shopping cart on the right. Now, what if I wanted to sell them a t-shirt as well? I can go to products. I can hit t-shirt, and I could add a, extra large t-shirt. Now that's going to show up in my shopping cart. And this goes on and on. You can even add in things like maybe we want to add in a food item, so we want to throw in a cheeseburger there. If you happen to have any food available or drinks or concessions, everything is available. Now, on the right-hand side, under the shopping cart area, you also have promo codes, so you can apply a promo code if you wanted to. I can tap that so you can see what it's like. I don't know if any of these are actually available. We'll see the 10%. Yep, that was available on this event. So I applied that promo code. We've got a little bit of a discount that was applied. And otherwise, we can just hit checkout at the bottom. And so right now, I can swipe a credit card. We do have a Square-like card reader. And we actually have an integration with Square coming if you prefer to use their hardware. But our hardware works fine as well. You can click key card if you'd like to type in a credit card. Obviously not quite as fast as swiping one, but if you don't have one of our card readers handy, there it is. You can do that right there. Or you can just even log a cash sale. And of course, there's 0 fee for that. The service fees above, you don't see those totaled. You use the cash total in that case. And if you type in that amount, it'll tell you how much change is due. So if they gave us $120, we owe them $11.18 here. And I can click complete sale whenever we're finished. If it is a credit card transaction, you can even have them sign right on the screen. And you can also, from this screen, print out a ticket or receipt if you have one of our printers available, or you can email out a ticket or receipt. In that case, you just type in their email address and hit email, and that will go out to their email with their tickets attached. So that's a nice way to get a receipt to people, too, if they absolutely have to have one. You don't have to have a printer on site. And after that, I'll just click done. So those are the basics of this. I do, want to note that we do have one more feature that's coming pretty quickly on this, and that will be the ability to see inventories left on this. So right now, this wouldn't let you oversell. So the inventory from online is connected here at the door, so you can't oversell your products. You can't oversell your time slots. If you're limited to 8 tickets per time slot, you cannot oversell that. But we're actually going to give you more visibility to see exactly how many tickets are left, and that'll be available in the next few weeks, actually probably 1 to 2 months here. So that's the mobile app, the Passage Manager app for use with your escape room. But again, you do not have to use this at all, and I'll show you a few workarounds if you choose not to use this. But if you do like it, it's available on any Android or iOS device. It's absolutely free for use when you have an account on EscapeTix. So with that, I'm going to dive back over to the website here so we can go into the remaining portions of the demo. So I'm going to go back to our checkout here. So this is our completed checkout. And since I'm logged in and I have a creator account, from the account dropdown, I'm going to have the admin option. So I'm just going to click admin. And that will get me back to the upcoming events area. So this is how we manage things on a regular basis from our back end. So right away, you can see down here, if you log in and scroll down, we can see the upcoming time slots that we've got. So here's our 4:30 for the laboratory on Thursday. And here's our 5 o'clock for the Dragon's Den. And next to any of these, you can actually see how many tickets have been purchased and how many are remaining. Now, because of this, I'm actually going to scroll down to Saturday, since we probably want to see some actual sales. So down here in Saturday, we can see those couple sales that we just made under the laboratory at 4:30. So we've sold 4 tickets. We have 4 remaining. Now, let's say we had a group that wanted to come into the Alchemist Lair at 4 o'clock. and they had 10 people. And it's our policy that we go ahead, and if you're all one group, we'll let you do up to 10 people. No problem. We can just check that, click that edit button next to the tickets remaining. I can change that to 10. I can hit save, and now we have 10 slots available. Or maybe we wanted to block out this 430 so that no more than 4 could be sold because it's a private group and they want to be by themselves. I can just hit 0 on tickets, ticket limit there, and now we're limited to just those 4 tickets. And of course, you see your revenue generated over here. So that's the really easy way to change that inventory available. Super quick to be able to go in and do that even when you've got somebody on the phone. And let's say I wanted to note why. So that my staff knows why this is up to 10 or why I've limited this to no more remaining. I can go ahead and click the Notes tab here, the Notes button, and say this shouldn't sell any more tickets because this is the private Smith party or something like that. It's not the best description. You'll have your own descriptions that you want to put in there. But the cool thing is, as soon as I click save on that description, we now see over here that, hey, some notes have been left. So our employees, when they pop in for the next shift, can just tap that and say, oh, that's why this has been blocked off, because the Smiths have a private party. So that's pretty cool. Other things we can do, we can click View Guest List to get a list of everybody that's attending. Now, you'll notice here that we have a few different ones that are set up. The ones at the top, we already checked in. Those were the ones we had purchased online. The status on those are already redeemed. So there is a button to unredeem those. Don't worry, that can be locked down in the employee controls if you don't want to allow people to unredeem tickets. But then there's these other couple tickets that were purchased, and we can still click redeem on those. Now, since these first couple were bought online, we had custom questions, and they answered those. So they put in their phone number in that case. So that's cool that info was immediately available. And also, over on the transactions, we can tap that number if we want to see everything that they purchased here, which is kind of nice. So we can see that they not only purchased, those tickets, they also purchased a t-shirt, and we can even click in to view the entire transaction, which is pretty cool. So I just clicked into that entire transaction, and this is going to pull up the transaction details. Now, this is really important here because we have a little bit of everything on this transaction details page. We can reprint a receipt. We can reprint tickets. We can resend the customer their tickets or receipt. Maybe they called in and said they couldn't find their tickets. You can just tap that, and that'll resend them a copy of those tickets. And if you ever need to, you can click here to refund a transaction for somebody. But what if we just want to see some details? We can scroll down. We can see exactly what tickets were purchased by this person, what products were purchased, what discount codes were used, all of those details. We can even mark them redeemed or unredeemed from here. But what if maybe this person called in and they said, hey, sorry, we've had an emergency in the family. We can't make it on the 19th. But you know what? We can on the 20th at the same time. We can go ahead and hit this edit button and just change that over this easily to say, hey, these guys are going to come at 4:30 on the 20th now instead. It's still general admission. Click the checkbox, and those are immediately changed. Tickets are instantly changed. We can hit resend customer receipt at the top, and now they've got a new copy of those tickets to show the updated date and time in their inbox. It's that easy. We can even change names of people here. So we could say, hey, this is not Alex Linnebrink. This is Bob Smith. And there we go. We can change their name and email. You can even edit it up there if you want to edit the email that their tickets are sent to. So it's that easy if you want to change any of those details there. So with that, I'm going to jump back over to the admin area that we are here and show you a little bit more about the upcoming events area that we were just running through. So outside of the view tickets, we also have the ability to click the action dropdown. I'll do this on a little higher event so you can see. I can click the dropdown under the actions column here, and we have a few options here. So one, we can sell tickets. So if I want to sell tickets right from the back end, we can absolutely make that happen. I can just type in their details, hit continue. We can say how many tickets they want. We can answer the question here, click continue. Can insert a promo code if we like, or we can continue to check out. So with the checkout, I go ahead and click that. We can put in a credit card number. In this case, I'll just use a test credit card here, and this should all work. I don't know if this is still an active test credit card, but we're going to check anyways. And 123 Main Street, and click purchase. And as soon as I click purchase, and hopefully a successful purchase, yep, tickets purchased successfully, now this has gone through to that user. So they've got an email about that transaction. I can click into the details to review that transaction, or we can even start a new one from back here. So it's that easy if you want to run through a quick transaction, if you've got somebody on the phone or standing there. So this would be instead of using the mobile app. You don't have to use that. You could do everything right from the back end here. Another option, what if I wanted to send somebody some free tickets? We have what we call comp tickets, which are pretty cool. So when I click that, we can go in and it's going to automatically go to that time that we just selected. In this case, this was the Dragon's Den, which we have to select our type of role that we have there. So I'll select a night for this one. But really, we're just selecting the ticket type. We're selecting the quantity of tickets we want to send, and their email address, and any notes we have. Free tickets because Bob's your uncle. All right, so I'll click submit, and they are instantly going to get an email with those free tickets attached there. So that's a pretty cool way to send out some free tickets to VIPs or family members that you want to give some tickets away to, or media if you want to send some out to the newspaper or the radio station to come check things out. That's a good way to get it done. Now, other options from the actions dropdown. We can hit block. That is exactly how it sounds. Now these tickets are not available for sale. As soon as we hit those, there are no more sales will happen on that time slot. Or we can actually do something here called make private. Now this is great if you have a corporate event coming up. When I make something private, similar to how blocking works, those tickets are no longer available to the general public. So if somebody goes to our public booking page, they would not see those tickets available, nor would they be able to be booked via the mobile app, etc. But you'll notice that after we click that, we've got this private link back here. And what I can do is I can actually click that link, or copy that link is really what you want to do. But I'll click that link, and that's a special link that just leads me directly to that time slot. And basically, anybody that has that link can then book at this time slot. So it's great to send out to people that want to bring a group, but they don't want to check out all at the same time. So anybody that that gets that link, they can now check out via that special link only for that time slot, and nobody else has access to that. So that's a really cool feature just for private groups that should help you with your corporate bookings, with your birthday parties, all that sort of thing. Finally, let's see, one last thing. I think that's about it for the upcoming events. So now let's take a look at what it's like to actually create an event. So instead of upcoming, I'm going to go to events and then manage. And we're going to dive into some more advanced functions on the events, some more advanced setup, and actually run through a complete event setup. So again, under the laboratory, I'm going to go ahead and look at select options here, these event options. Now, we've already seen what it's like to sell tickets to an event from the back end, to block a time slot, upcoming events, comp tickets. We've seen all those. Guest list is another option. You can click this to get a PDF or CSV download of all the guests for a certain time at your event. And you can create promo codes and social discounts, and you can embed events. So I want to look into what it's like to create a promo code, and this is very similar for social discounts, so I won't show you both. But I just click promo code, so I'm going to go ahead and click add code. Let's say we want to give out a code for $4 off. So I'm going to say this is dollars from the type. You can choose dollar or percent. I'll choose dollars. I'll choose the amount of 4. And I'm going to say they have to type in 4 off. I don't recommend this. That'd be pretty easy to guess, but you get the idea. You could have that code be anything that they have to type in. It could be, a special group name. It could be gibberish, whatever you like. Excuse me. Total allowed uses. we can limit this. So it could only be used once, or if we leave it blank, it's unlimited. Sometimes we'll want to do something like say, hey, this can be used up to 100 times, but only on one ticket per order. So I'll say the max uses per order is 1. Otherwise, if they made one order for 100 tickets, they'd get all the uses of it. And, that might not be how you intend it. I'll go ahead and say that availability, we can make this online or in person or everywhere. We'll go ahead with everywhere on this. Auto apply quantity is a little different. This would be if you wanted them to automatically get this discount if they add, we'll say, 10 tickets to their cart. I don't necessarily recommend that, in general use cases, but this can be great for group discounts and things like that. Valid dates, if we leave these blank, it's just always going to be valid. And then enabled. We definitely want to check to make sure this is enabled. So we'll click check. So I'll go ahead and click create promo code. After we click create, we do get a few more options. We can change the ticket types it's valid on and some things like that. So maybe I don't want this on the whole room or group discount. I only want it available, or the student, I only want it available on the general admission and VIP. So I can go ahead and click update after that's done. But now this promo code is instantly available. If somebody were to type in 4 off for my event, they'd get $4 off, and they could do that up to 100 times. Now, another thing on the promo codes, if I go back to manage codes, you'll see we have a list of all of our codes, including the one I just created, 4 off. Now, next to that list, we can delete it, we can disable it, we can edit it, but we also have a view promo URL. Now, this is a really cool way to allow special discounts to special groups. Maybe you don't want somebody to have to type something in to be able to get the discount. You just want them to click a special link. Well, you can just click view promo URL, and that link that's included down there is actually, whoops, I highlighted a little too much, but that link would actually go directly towards a version of the page that automatically applies that promo code there. So again, I'll click view promo URL, and you should see that link right over here. Basically, at the end, it's adding in question mark promo code equals and then the code. So it's pretty simple. You could actually create that on your own if you needed to. All right, so with that, I'll jump back to manage. The only other option from the dropdown that we haven't yet seen here is the embed option. As I mentioned, you don't have to link to the booking page. You can actually embed it in your own website. And if you click embed, you're going to get that one line of code that you need to copy and paste into your website to be able to embed that. It's that easy. You just have to copy and paste this. And what we're going to see down here is an example of that. So this is what it would look like if this were embedded. You'll notice it's scrunched down a little bit to fit. It doesn't include our navigation, so it feels like a white label system. But what if your website was a little different colored and you didn't like these colors? You can actually change different color profiles. You can use some of our default ones like basic or blue, is another one. We've got some blue highlights on the buttons for that one. Or you can even customize this. And when we use the custom colors, it actually lets us change the colors however we want. I don't necessarily recommend these colors either, but you get the idea. You can change the primary background color, the secondary background color, heading color, etc. All of this different stuff just so that the colors now look perfectly matched to your website, whatever this is embedded on. So keep that one in mind. All right, I'm going to head back to manage from events, and I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to tap into edit on the event just so you can see what an event setup actually looks like. So from here, we have a few different options, and I will tell you from the start, this look is going to be changing a little bit pretty soon. We are changing the way the event setup looks, but most of the options will be exactly the same. But for right now, this is what it looks like, and you can either scroll down, or on the left-hand side, you can actually tap these different areas, and that's the same as scrolling down, but that's just a little quicker if you're used to stuff. So just to let you know, there are a couple ways to navigate. All right, so as we dig into it, at the top, we've got our event details. So these are things like name. Hopefully you have that one down. So this would be the name of your room. The event URL, don't worry about this too much. We will auto-create your first event URL after you save it the first time. But you can, customize that. So you can customize that little bit after the EscapeTix.com/events area. So you can change that part of the URL if you like. And then your venue. And when you add a new venue, it's going to pop up and ask for the name, capacity, address, phone number. time zone. Just make sure you put those in the first time. Then after that, it'll just be available in the drop down after you've done that once. So you don't have to do that over and over and over. All right, a little farther down, we have our description. Again, you can have a little bit of anything in here. You can have links, headings, change the text sizes. You've got rich text editing all up here. You can add in images. You can add in, paste in videos, whatever you like. Throw a YouTube video in here. Anything you like to spice up your event page. And below that, we've got our look and feel as we jump down the page. So here is where you get to change the look and feel of the page. Do things like add an event poster, a couple options at the top to display the end time for events, things like that. You've got a banner image you can add, background image. Anytime you add one of these, you're just selecting it from your computer. So you just pick a file from anywhere on your computer. I won't replace this one right off here. All right, so below that we have ticket info. This is important. So our hierarchy here is ticket types and time slots. You have to have at least one of each, but you can also have unlimited, which is good because escape rooms have a lot of time slots. You might not want more than one ticket type, though. So if you just have a straight up price for your general admission, like this, $40 a piece, that's fine. You can do that. If you want to add a new one, all you have to do for your ticket type is throw in a name and a price. Actually, I don't recommend adding in the other options. You can if you need to. You can add in a quantity available, or you can limit that per the time slot. I actually recommend that. You can add in ticket fees if you want a special fee that comes back to you guys that's charged to the customer. You can add a minimum quantity. If I were to make this 10, then they would have to buy at least 10 tickets to get this discounted price, something like that. Like a group discount, basically. Change the order it's displayed in, change whether this is online or in person. You can add a description. You can choose to display tickets remaining or not if you want to show, just, hey, there's only 4 tickets left, that sort of thing. But really all you have to have is a name and a price. And so you can do things like a general admission, like a student price, a VIP pricing, a group discount where they have to, in this case, they have to buy at least 4 tickets, buy out the whole room, etc. There are a lot of options here. All right, so below that, we have ticket instructions. If you enter something in here, it's going to show up actually as added information on the ticket. That can be handy if you want to get somebody some extra info. You've got custom fields. So if you want to ask people a question when they're checking out, this is how you do it. You just say add custom field. What is your favorite color? There we go. Now, if I click save, it will ask them that when they're checking out. And you can even make it required. So they have to enter an answer to be able to get through checkout. And you can change whether you're collecting that once per checkout or once per ticket. You can actually make people answer that question for each ticket they're purchasing. I don't necessarily recommend that. That's a lot of extra steps. But if you need to do that, you can absolutely do that. And you can require separate names on each ticket and email addresses on each ticket if you like. That's applicable as well. Fee setup, after you've looked at our pricing, and you can decide if you want to go with our subscription pricing or if you want to have a service fee tacked on to every purchase. And this is where you choose whether or not you want to pass that service fee, if you go that route, onto the customer, or if you want to incur that yourself. If you pass on to the customer, they'll see a few extra cents on their transaction. If you incur it yourself, they'll see exactly whatever the ticket price was, but you'll be paying out that fee there. Reports, you can elect to get reports on every ticket or a summary report daily or weekly. And after you select one of these options, you even have the ability to add in, to attach the tickets to each alert email, or to add in extra people that get those alerts as well, which can be handy if you have somebody else that needs some of those reports. We have some more advanced options like hiding an event. Maybe you're not quite ready for it to go live, or you want to keep it private. You can do that. You can hide event terms on the ticket. You can have event terms down here, all sorts of different stuff. These, by the way, the event terms are when you force them to check to agree to certain terms. That's where you do that. You can have a special email message that goes out to them. You can have a special contact email address that's different than your account email address. You can even add in conversion tracking and things like that. So This is actually just for a Facebook conversion tracking pixel, but if you want to include Google Analytics, or maybe you've got some other special system that you're doing to track the visitors through your website and make sure that they're getting through to checkout, or to remarket to them if they didn't make it all the way to the checkout and finalize things, we can absolutely plug that in for you. Not a problem at all. And then down here are our dates and times. So here we can actually add an individual time slot. So we could actually say, hey, this time starts and stops at 4:30, stops at 5:30. Only 8 people are allowed. It's good with these ticket types, etc. That's one way to do things. I don't recommend that, though, if you're an escape room. I'll show you down here. I'm going to scroll down to advanced setup. This is what you do as an escape room. You say, you know what? We open at we'll say 1 p.m. every day, and we're going to close at 10 p.m. every day. And the duration of our escape experience is an hour, but we want to leave a buffer of 30 minutes in between every escape experience. And you know what? I want to stop sales an hour before, and I want to limit this to 8 tickets per time slot. And I do want people to be able to see how many tickets are remaining so they know that they can get their whole group in or not. And the ticket types I want to use are general, student, and VIP. Forget these. They were mistakes. I didn't mean to set those up, so I won't use those. Repeat, I want to say that this starts on this Thursday, actually. We're going to start it right away. And it's going to continue through the end of the year, December 31st. And this is going to happen every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and Sunday are when these times are going to go in. And when I click continue, we're going to get a preview of every day that's auto-generated. So we start at 1 o'clock. They're an hour-long event, so the first one goes from 1 to 2. Then we've got a half-hour buffer. Then it goes 2:30 to 3:30, then a half-hour buffer, then 4 to 5. We have our tickets remaining. Yes, we're going to limit this to 8 tickets per time slot, and it's for these 3 ticket types. And we could even edit one of these. So let's say the odd one out was this 4 o'clock, and you know what? We have a dinner break then, so I'm actually going to remove that one. We can do that if we want. And then after we're done, we can actually click create, and this is going to create all of these times with these ticket types, using these ticket types, for every, in this case, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday until the end of the year. So automatically, you've created all those time slots to the end of the year. And then if you want to go back and edit an individual one, you can absolutely go up here, and next to any time slot, you can hit edit. Or I can do a bulk edit where I go in and I say, hey, I want to edit all of these specific time slots. I'll select all of these. I'll click edit, and we actually want to bump them forward, 1 hour. I can absolutely do that. And we'll click save, and now that'll be bumped forward an hour for those, or 10 minutes, or whatever we want to set that at. So it's pretty easy to do all of that in our system. Pretty versatile system here. Okay. Now that we're done going through the event setup, I want to dive into what our reports look like. And in our reports, we have about 5 different types of reports, but really there are only 2 categories of reports. So the tickets, transactions, discounts, and products all look about the same. That's all a similar type of report, just for different data. And then the events report is the odd one out. So I'll go to the events one first. Now the events one is really made for a quick visual look at what is going on at your event, at your escape rooms, how things are performing. So what you can do here is you can go ahead and slip through and select your event, and you can put in a date range. And you can do this over a week, a month, a single day, a year, whatever you want to do. And you can narrow it down to specific ticket types if you want, or you can leave this blank to select all of them. You can narrow it to specific payment types if you want. Maybe you only want to look at cash sales versus credit card or something like that. Or you can leave it blank for all of them. And you can decide whether or not you're doing this over a date range for when they were sold or when they were redeemed, which is an important difference. So I'll go ahead and click submit. And instantly we're going to get a rundown of how our event is performing. So first off, we have ticket types sold. So over this time period, we have, of the VIPs, we sold 64, 531 general admissions, 18 group discounts, and 34 student prices. So you can scroll over to get this data, you can view it visually, you can click to get a printable image here, and you can even just click to get a table. Maybe you want to copy and paste it for use somewhere else. Below that, we have promo code breakdown. So we can see by promo code how these are doing. So we can say, hey, we've had 7 uses of 1 less, 5 uses of 10%, etc. So those are how all the promo codes are performing. This is great to keep track of how your newspaper promo code is performing versus your radio promo code, or something like that, where you've got 2 different marketing channels and you're giving out a different promo code for each. It might even be for the same value, but then at the end of the day, you can say, hey, I made more money off of this one, so I'm going to keep with that marketing channel instead of the second one, something like that. And you can even see how your bundle sales are doing. So we can go down here and say, hey, 59 people have checked out the Escape Lab Challenge bundle. So that's performing very well, but only 1 person has booked the whole room. So why do we even have that up there? It's never used. So that's another idea of what you can keep track of in the events report. So again, this is just for a visual, quick look at how things are going. So with that, let's dive back into the tickets report to see what it's like to get some more info. And the tickets report is totally different. Nothing simple about this. We try to make it so it's digestible. It's not too crazy to get all the data, but we really give you every bit of data that you could want. So not only do you have the totals at the top, you can see the total tickets sold, redemptions, ticket price, total ticket fees, processing fees, service fees, tax, discounts, all of those. But you can also see all the results down below. So you can see their name, their email, when they purchased, what time they purchased for, what event they purchased for, what ticket type, whether or not it's already been redeemed. You can even mark it redeemed from here. You can see how they paid, whether they got any discounts, how much they paid, etc. And you can click the ticket ID if you really want to dive in for more info. That's how you go there as well. But most of the time, people aren't just going to want to see all of their sales. They're going to want to zero into a specific time or event or whatever. So I can use the filters on the left to handle all of that. So I can go in and say, maybe on the filters, I want to see just the sales for the laboratory. And I want to see just the general admission sales. I don't care about the date range. I want to see this since, we'll say, I'll leave the date range blank. We'll leave that blank. And we could add in email addresses if we're searching for a certain person. I'll say we want to limit the payment type to just online purchases. I don't care about in-person purchases at the door right now, etc. You can even search by who used what promo codes and things like that. So I'll go ahead and click search, and very quickly we're going to get an updated total that are just, the laboratory tickets with the ticket type general admission that were bought online. 451 of those, 104 have been redeemed. Here are our totals, and here are the tickets below. So it's that simple to get a filtered result, and you can even bookmark this page to get a bookmark to come back to that filtered result later on. And at any time, we can export these results to a spreadsheet file, a CSV. We can either export all of our data or just the filtered data here. So it's available for you to grab all of that at any time as soon as you like. Now, we also have these mega reports here for transactions, for discounts that are used, and for products. So you can get reports on all those. The discounts one, you can even export that. Let's say you do thousands of Groupon codes. You can even export which ones were used and send that into Groupon so that they know those totals there. So all this data is available. But let's say you didn't like the data set up here. You didn't like the report. Well, you can actually use our integration with a service called Zapier. And we do not make any money off of Zapier, but we do integrate with them because we think they're a great tool. I personally use them for a lot of different stuff. And even if you don't end up using EscapeTix, I do recommend that you use Zapier. So here's what Zapier is. You can go to Zapier.com, Zapier.com to check it out. It's pretty inexpensive. It's either free if you're under a certain threshold or $20 a month if it's over. But what this does is it lets you set up if this, then that type scenarios for all the web apps you work with all the time. So for instance, we can say, and these are called triggers and actions, by the way. So we could do something like say, hey, when somebody purchases a ticket on EscapeTix to the laboratory, we can filter it out to say only when they purchase to the laboratory or only when they include a merchandise sale or something like that. Then we'll automatically subscribe them to our MailChimp email list. We'll automatically schedule an email to go out after their escape experience with a survey link and a discount to come back next time. And we'll automatically add these 3 sets of data to a Google spreadsheet that we're capturing everything. So basically, not only can you let this automate your follow-up to people and automate some of your marketing by adding them to your email lists and things like that, but you can also let it automate creating a special report that just has the specific data that you like. And that can be super important. You can add the custom fields in there. Maybe you've asked somebody something that's pertinent to their escape experience. Maybe in the escape experience, you use their favorite color. So you've created a special spreadsheet that automatically their name, email address, and favorite color goes right in there so that you can, reference that data while they're in their escape experience. All sorts of possibilities here. We have some escape rooms automatically creating a calendar event and inviting them to that calendar event. So that's one cool use of it. And you can have it shared on an employee calendar that you guys have shared so that you can see on your Google Calendar who's coming at what time. That can be something that you automate with it. You can even automate that these transactions go straight into QuickBooks Online. Tons of possibilities there. And other than that, we can run through other stuff. As we mentioned, we have the ability to set up products. Those are very similar to setting up an event. If I go into product setup, like the Escape Labs t-shirt, we're just going to set up a name for it and a number available and a price and a description, of course. We can set up a special tax rate just for this product. We know that's important at sometimes, so we can set that. We can set whether it's available online or at the door, whether it's pickup only or can be shipped, if there's a shipping fee, if they can do that, etc. You can set what events it's available for, add in an image, and you can even create variants like our small, medium, large, etc. And you can see how many sales there have been to date and how many are left in your inventory. And if we wanted to up this inventory, we could just say we got a new shipment of another 20 t-shirts. We'll set this up to 77 now. It's that easy. And as soon as I click update, that's going to be ready to go. So that's one thing you can do. You can add in bundles. And when you create a bundle, you have the ability to say, this is going to be available for different ticket types or products on there as well, or all this different stuff. So for instance, the challenge bundle that we had set up, we have a name and a price and a description, and then we've added these different ticket types. So those are all included on that bundle, or actually these ones, it makes them choose between on that bundle. So lots of options. You can add in products as well. So all those different options that are there. And there's tons of extra power here, but these are the main features of EscapeTix. I hope this is something that's going to be valuable to you guys in the long run and help you not only find more sales for your escape room, but also do things in a way that's going to be easier to you, help you manage things and keep them simplified on your end. Please feel free to reach out to us at any time at info@escapetix.com. We're happy to answer questions. You can give us a call at 855-688-7277. Option 1. We have support that's there 9 to 5 p.m. every weekday. We also have chat and email support available around the clock outside of those hours, so even evenings and weekends as well. So take advantage of that. We'll set things up for you if we can help you out. We'll even help your customers complete their transaction. If maybe it's a grandma buying tickets for her grandkid and can't figure out this whole internet thing, we're happy to take that call and help that make sure you get that sale. So we're there for you. We'd love to help you sell more bookings this year to your escape room. Just let us know how we can help. Thanks a ton. This is Alex Linnebrink at EscapeTix signing off. See ya.